we have a great piece of legal news, but it's not really relevant to say, do we live in a democracy? This is more about how much power do we still retain to strike back at the oligarchs within our court systems. And it turns out some. Check out this little ditty from Miss Rachel Maddow.
Sounded awesome. Listen to this. Success at ACN is not a mystery. If you don't succeed, ACN doesn't succeed. ACN uses a model with a proven track record, and it's creating millionaires. ACN, huh? The ACN thing that was supposed to make you a millionaire is this fantastic gizmo. It is a video phone, a miraculous space-age invention that lets you see the person you are talking to on the phone. The thing is, though, in order to achieve the privilege of selling this video phone gizmo, you first had to pay the company $499. Then after paying them your own $500 specifically for the privilege of becoming a salesperson for them, you then had to recruit other people to sell these video phones, or you had to sell a whole lot of them yourself.
Two things. Just look. The salesman in me sees this as a challenge. Back in the day, when I was on my nihilistic bend, and it was a fun job. I do want to say I would absolutely, upon seeing that offer, I would absolutely go try to sell a bunch of these phones to an office, to a place that had branches in different areas, because CEOs love to flex. And I would not have signed up for the service until I had made the sale, at which point I would include the cost, the $500 cost, as a sign-up fee for the client. But it kills me that these didn't take off. What particularly kills me is that these phones could have been so rad, except that they were determined to screw over their salesmen. The point of the phones was not to get these phones in homes and offices. The point of these phones was to screw over people like me, who thought they'd be clever salesmen and would actually have just ended up getting fleeced by the company.
And selling them turned out to be really hard because they were not really worth buying. This magic ACN video phone gizmo could only be used to call other ACN video phones. So yeah, you could maybe sell one to your mom if she loves you, but she could not use it with anyone else unless you also sold one to your cousin or your aunt, and even then they could only talk to each other but no one else who didn't have one of these things. You can see why this did not take off. Instead of making money selling ACN video phones, most people who were recruited to sell these things lost money. They pumped their savings into the hefty sign-up fee, and then they had to buy inventory to sell, and then the company also charged them for training. It all added up to a lot, and nobody wanted to buy these things. So some of the people who felt they were duped into this no-win financial black hole of a business scam, they sued. They sued over this promise of getting rich that they alleged was materially false. But the people who sued did not sue the company that made these phones. They sued the guy who made the promise, the guy who promised them that signing up and scrimping together $500 to be able to win the privilege of being allowed to sell these phones, that was what would make them millionaires.
Success at ACN is not a mystery. If you don't succeed, ACN doesn't succeed. ACN uses a model with a proven track record, and it's creating millionaires.
A proven track record. Thank you, Rachel. Yeah, a model with a proven track record. Yeah, Avon products. What was that? Americo. There's a lot of proven track records for pyramid schemes. It's places that are just built to rob their employees. Now, don't get me wrong. Most big companies thieve from their employees. Yes, that's true. But it does become illegal at the very least, lawsuitable if your whole business model is thieving from your employees. If you are so determined to drain American productivity that you don't even pretend to actually be of value within your business model.
Proven track record creating millionaires. Donald Trump was the pitchman for ACN video phone gizmos, appearing in promotional videos where he talked about how rich you would get by selling this thing. He gave paid speeches at conferences all about this thing and how you should sign up to sell it and you'd get rich. He built an entire episode of his NBC show all around it.
Jesus.
There are these ACN people standing with him and his adult children while he markets this thing on NBC. The people who ultimately sued him say Trump's endorsement of this product, again, for which he was being paid, they say his endorsement was what got them to sign up and ultimately what lost them thousands of their own dollars. The suit was first brought against Trump in 2018 when he was still president. It's just now approaching trial. And I mention this because if you, like thousands of households across the country, are making a list of all these scheduled trials involving former President Donald Trump, this is probably the one you keep forgetting. I mean, there's the New York AG's fraud case about Trump's business that's set for trial in October. There's the federal civil defamation trial brought by E. Jean Carroll. That's set for January next year. There's the New York criminal trial over campaign hush money payments, the Stormy Daniels thing. That criminal trial scheduled for March. There's the federal criminal trial on classified documents that's slated for May in Florida.
God
There's also,
damn.
of course, the federal January 6th trial, which has yet to be scheduled, but looks like it'll be fast. But, and may we not overlook, sandwiched between the defamation case and the Manhattan criminal trial, there really is the video phone trial. The lawsuit alleging that Trump duped people into the video phone sales scam thing as a business scam. So if you're making a chore wheel at home for deciding who's going to be the point person in your family on each of Trump's upcoming scheduled trials, if you land on
Video phone. Yeah, you get ready in early January. Yes. Yeah. So, another piece of news. Lest you forget, Donald Trump has been a con artist for his whole career. He is a con artist and Russian mob money launderer. That's all this guy does. That's truly, as far as I can see, that's all he's ever done. The guy ran a casino business. What is the point of that, you may ask? Well, it's to launder money if you're Donald Trump, because it's a cash business. He's about the only person I've ever heard of who opened a casino and couldn't keep the thing running. Hell, I literally know a family that runs racetracks. In the 21st century, they run horse racing tracks. I know there's a whole thing about horse racing. I have since learned that it's maybe not a great pastime. But regardless, that's an awfully old-timey gambling establishment. And even they were able to make it work just fine. Trump couldn't run a casino. Why? One, he's a con artist. Two, and con artists are not genuine business people. Two, he runs fronts for the Russian mob. Real estate, same thing. It's the same thing. What happened to the old post office hotel? Why are we not investigating the Miami group that bought it from Trump for a ridiculous amount of money? We're going to keep anybody associated with Trump is worthy of investigation for that reason alone. And we're going to keep seeing things like this. But understand that even though the important stuff to follow, frankly, I think is what we have followed. It's what I see other people following. I'm glad that Maddow hadn't let this go, and other folks are also tracking the various peripheral things that this guy did. We've broken the seal here, and we have decided, it seems, as a society, that we are going to finally take some of this stuff seriously. Good. Go get him.